Hello and welcome to Harrelson Trumpets. I am in our Denver showroom, and today we are going to be looking at the latest horn to come out of the Harrelson Trumpets shop. Just a couple days ago I finished the X16, that horn right there. Now the X16 is part of a prototype series known as the X series, and each of these I'm experimenting just one factor, one little thing. So I pretty much know how everything's going to work on this horn except for one new thing. And each one of the X series allows me to just try with something new. I'm not trying everything new. All the horns play perfectly in tune, like you would expect. They're the right length, the right dimensions, all that kind of stuff. They're basically great horns that are little experiments for me, because I'm documenting all of this, in research and development of our new HT6 variable efficiency line of trumpets, which will come out sometime in the future. And I'm really excited about the X16 because I have machined a new brace that lightens the horn, it streamlines the design, and it allows for more resonance. So let's take a look right now. Here it is. The X series has this X-type bracing between the valve casing and the lead pipe and bell. Isn't that nice? And let's look at it from the underside. Okay, so this horn, everything else about it, I already know how it works. I'm going to go from beginning to end, and then we're going to play it. We're going to set it up for a couple different genres using both the 5mm modular mouthpiece and the Venturi gap receiver. So we'll start by showing you this. This receiver comes off, we can change inserts inside. That allows us to change the feeling of the horn in terms of how much air is required, and also the feeling of resistance. So in other words, if I get up in the upper register and a horn feels tight, then I'm like, oh, well, I may have to change that to make it feel more open and free. If it feels too big, I can dial it back down a little bit. So again, it feels just right. We can also change the impedance. And what that does is allows us to change the feeling of slipperiness, how easy it is to slide up and down the different partials, or how much we want to slot into each partial. So we call that flexibility and slotting. And there's kind of a sliding scale. Flexibility, slotting, we want to be somewhere in between, unless you want a lot of one or the other. And then resonance. Resonance really can be adjusted in the VGR system, and that's something we also do in relation to the mouthpiece. So we can talk about that when we do in other videos. I encourage you to check them out and see how we can adjust resonance using the VGR and the modular mouthpiece. So we've got the VGR. We have our lead pipe, which is a drawn lead pipe instead of a machine lead pipe. This is number 1. And then a round tuning slide, Saturn water keys, which are made by Dennis Wedgwood. And we've got the third slide screw stop so that our third slide doesn't fall out. We have skeletonized finger rings. On the valve set, we have our solid lightweight finger buttons, which are not available for non-Harrelson owners. They're only available for those of you who own one of our horns. We have the 3/8 inch top caps and the 3/8 inch bottom caps. I don't think I missed anything there. And then we have bell number 1. So I want to set this horn up to be just a great all-around playing horn. If I want to do that, then I'm probably going to put an insert on the VGR that's somewhere in the middle of the range of options. Here is our VGR insert set. You can watch videos to see how this whole thing works, but I'm going to jump right in the middle and grab a 344 number 8. That means I have 344 thousandths of an inch as the inside diameter and 80 thousandths of an inch gap when using the Harrelson modular mouthpiece. So now I screwed it on, and that is set. This is the most efficient and easy to use Venturi gap receiver system in the world. We invented it several years ago to allow you to have all this versatility. So when you buy a Harrelson trumpet, you don't have to worry about it feeling right, because we can adjust this, and it will feel right once you get the right adjustment set up. And we'll help you with that. Now I'm going to set the horn down and then put together a mouthpiece. So here we have some of the mouthpiece parts. Well, I think for this horn, I probably want to set it up with a body that matches the receiver, same diameter. So I already have my rim and my cup that I normally use here, and I want to set it up for all around playing. So I'm going to put in here, this is a 145 throat, which is 145 thousandths of an inch. And this is a 20 CS, a 21 CS. Basically what that means is that it's a pretty well-rounded setup for a throat. And then I chose a 2133 backboard. 2131 backboard. I screw the nut on, and I should have everything ready to go. Put that in. And now I can play. It feels nice. I like it. I want to darken it. So I'm just going to leave everything as is. And this time I'm just going to change the mouthpiece throat and backboard. So I'm going to move up to a 155 throat. And on the backboard, let's move to a 2135. So these are the only changes I'm making. And you can see that's pretty quick to change out. And here's the kind of fit you can expect on the receiver and the mouthpiece. Looks somewhat seamless. All right, it has a lot of power. It's a really big, beautiful sound. I would say it's pretty good middle of the road setup. I'm going to keep the mouthpiece exactly the same. And now I'm just going to change the insert. So I'm going to take my 344, number 8 out. I'm going to put in a 350, number 2. So I have a bigger venturi, meaning my horn will now take more air. And I have more flexibility. Okay, so let's screw all this together. It's bigger, it's warmer, and I have more flexibility. It's easy to slide around. If I wanted to make the slotting harder and lock into each one, I would increase the gap. So instead of having a number 2 insert, I'd move to maybe a 12 or a 14 or a 16. So hopefully that gives you a quick overview of how easy it is to change just a few components in your horn and your mouthpiece to go from one genre to another. And we're doing all of that on the X16 Harrelson Trumpet. Like I said, all of these other horns have videos as well. I encourage you to watch those, and I thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.